The night lights of Abuja shimmered, reflecting off the sleek black Mercedes as it sped down the expressway. Inside the car sat Leonard, Leo for short, Adewale, a billionaire heir to the Adewale Group, one of the biggest real estate companies in Nigeria. His jaw was tight, his knuckles white as he gripped the steering wheel. His girlfriend, Sophia, had just infuriated him beyond words. She was beautiful, classy, and ambitious, but also manipulative and controlling. Leo, you are nothing without your father's money, she had scoffed during their argument. You think I'm with you for love? Please, I have options. The words cut deep. He had stormed out, needing space to breathe. Leo wasn't hungry, but his mind was in chaos. He spotted a small roadside restaurant, a place he would never have entered on a normal day. But tonight, he needed somewhere quiet. He ordered jollof rice and grilled chicken, but barely touched it. His mind was still on Sophia's insults. Frustrated, he left in a hurry, forgetting his car keys on the table. Halfway to his car, he realized his mistake and rushed back inside. What he saw made his blood boil. A young woman, thin and ragged, was seated at his table, devouring his food like her life depended on it. "Hey!" Leo roared, his voice thundering across the restaurant. The girl froze mid-bite, her eyes wide with fear. "Who gave you permission to touch my food?" he barked, glaring at her. She swallowed hard, looking at him with a mix of shame and defiance. I was hungry," she muttered, gripping her spoon like it was a lifeline. "Do you know how much that food cost?" Leo sneered. "You filthy beggar. You think you can just steal people's meals?" The entire restaurant went silent. The girl's face turned red with embarrassment. She slowly put down the spoon, her hands trembling. "I'm sorry," she whispered, standing up. Something in Leo's chest tightened. The way she looked, so helpless yet proud, refusing to beg for mercy, made him feel something he couldn't explain. Without another word, she turned and walked out into the cold Abuja night. Leo sighed, rubbing his temples. Why did he feel guilty? The next morning, Leo's father, Chief Adewale, called him for an emergency meeting. "Son, you know I'm retiring soon," Chief Adewale said, his sharp eyes watching Leo carefully. "And I plan to hand over the company to you." Leo sat straighter. He had worked hard to prove himself to his father. This was his moment. But then came the bombshell. "I will only hand it over under one condition." His father continued, "You must get married." Leo's mouth fell open. "What?" "I built this empire with family values," Chief Adewale said. "I need to know my legacy is safe. If you don't find a wife, I will give the company to your cousin, Jide." Leo's hands clenched into fists. Jide was a snake, waiting for an opportunity to destroy everything. He had to think fast. That was when an idea hit him. Leo needed a woman to pose as his fiancée, someone desperate enough to take the deal. Then he thought about her, the girl from the restaurant, a homeless girl, no family, no connections. She would have no power over him. Perfect. Leo found her exactly where he thought she would be, sitting under a bridge, cold and hungry. When she saw him, she stood up instantly. "You again?" she scoffed. "Came to insult me some more?" Leo smirked, shoving his hands into his pockets. "Actually, I came to offer you a job." She frowned. "What kind of job?" He leaned in, lowering his voice. "I need a fake fiancé." Zara blinked. "What?" "I'll pay you. A lot. You just have to pretend to be my fiancé for a few months. Play your role, and when it's over, you walk away with millions." Zara's heart pounded. This was insane, but could she really say no? She had nothing to lose. Taking a deep breath, she stretched out her hand. Deal. Leo grinned. From that moment, Zara's life changed overnight. She moved into Leo's mansion. She got a wardrobe full of designer clothes. The media went wild with the news of Leo's mysterious new fiancé, but not everyone was happy. Unknown to Zara, Leo was engaged to another woman, Sophia, a calculating socialite. Their engagement was purely for business, arranged by their families. But Sophia was not a woman to be discarded easily. Leo's ex, Sophia, was furious when she heard about Zara. A street girl? She screamed. Leo must have lost his mind. You think you can take my man, you filthy street rat? Sophia hissed, cornering Zara in the mansion one night. You will regret ever stepping into this house. Zara, though terrified, stood her ground. I didn't ask for any of this. If you think I'm afraid of you, you are wrong. But Sophia wasn't just talk. Determined to ruin Zara, Sophia hired private investigators to dig into her past. What Sophia found shook her to the core. Zara was not just a homeless girl. She was the long-lost daughter of a billionaire who had mysteriously disappeared years ago. And Leo's father was responsible for her family's downfall. Sophia smirked. This was her weapon. At a charity gala, Sophia exposed Zara's true identity in front of everyone. Leo, did you know your little fiancé is here for revenge? Sophia sneered. Her family was destroyed by your father. The entire room gasped. Leo turned to Zara, his eyes dark with betrayal. Is it true? Zara's throat went dry. Leo, But before she could explain, Leo walked away. Zara felt her heart shatter. Zara stood frozen as the whispers filled the grand ballroom. So, she was here for revenge all along. A street girl turned gold digger. Leo has been played. She turned to Leo, her heart racing. Leo, please, let me explain. But his face was stone cold. His eyes, once filled with warmth, were now full of betrayal and rage. You lied to me, Zara, he said quietly, his voice shaking with controlled fury. You played me, just like everyone else. He turned and walked away. Zara felt her entire world collapse. Sophia smirked from across the room, whispering to her friends, "Game over, darling." But she had no idea this was just the beginning. Zara ran after Leo, but he had already gotten into his car and sped off. She felt sick. This wasn't how she wanted him to find out. Sophia had twisted the truth. Desperate, she returned to the mansion. The security guards blocked her. Leo gave orders. You are no longer allowed in. Her heart stopped. What? They shut the gates in her face. Zara's fake fiancé act had ended. And just like that, she was homeless again. Hours later, Zara found herself wandering the streets, back where she started. Her thoughts were in chaos. She never wanted revenge. She only recently learned the truth. Her real father was a billionaire businessman, Chief Odukoya, who mysteriously lost his empire years ago. The person behind it, Leo's father. When she was 7 years old, her father had been betrayed by his closest business partner, Chief Adewale. Their company was stolen, and her father vanished without a trace. Her mother died shortly after, and Zara ended up on the streets. She spent her whole life believing she was just unlucky, but in truth, her entire life was stolen from her. That night, as Zara sat on a street corner, thinking about what to do next, she heard voices behind her, familiar voices. She turned and saw Sophia, drunk and laughing with her friends. And then, she heard something shocking. That fool Leo actually believed me. Sophia laughed. He doesn't know I lied to him. Zara never planned any revenge. She didn't even know the full story. Zara's blood ran cold. Sophia lied. Leo hated her for no reason. Zara clenched her fist. Sophia just made the biggest mistake of her life. The next day, Zara disappeared. Leo, still furious, tried to bury himself in work. He refused to think about her until a mysterious text came to his phone. Leo, if you want to know the full truth, meet me at Hotel Diamond, room 207, alone. Leo frowned. His guards told him it was a trap, but his heart told him something else. He needed to know the truth. That night, Leo entered room 207. To his shock, he saw Sophia sitting there, drunk, laughing with a man, and next to them was a hidden camera recording everything. Leo's stomach twisted. You really think I loved Leo? Sophia laughed. I just wanted his money, his status, his influence. Zara was never after revenge. I just made it all up so he would dump her. Leo's face went pale. His heart pounded as the full truth hit him. He had pushed away the one person who truly cared about him for a liar. Leo slammed his hands on the table, making Sophia jump in fear. You lied to me, he roared. You destroyed Zara's life. For what? Your own jealousy? Sophia's face turned white. Leo, please, get out of my life, he snapped. She tried to hold his arm. Leo, I did it for us. There is no us, he shouted. You will regret this. Sophia's world crumbled. She never imagined Leo would find out. And now, she was finished. Leo's hands were shaking as he rushed out of the hotel. He needed to find Zara. But when he did, she was nothing like the girl he left behind. She was no longer the homeless girl. She was powerful, ruthless, and was out for justice. Because Zara had found something even more dangerous than love. She had found the truth, and she was ready to destroy the man who stole her father's empire, his father, Chief Adewale. Leo spent days searching for Zara. He tried calling, texting, and even going back to the small restaurants where they first met. Nothing. Until one evening, he received an unexpected invitation. If you want to see me, come to the Grand Imperial Hotel, Suites 305, 8 p.m. sharp. Zara. Leo's heart raced. Was this his chance to fix everything? He dressed in his finest suits and arrived exactly at 8 p.m. But when he walked in, what he saw shocked him to his core. Zara sat at a luxurious dining table, wearing a stunning black gown. She looked nothing like the girl he once insulted in a restaurant, and sitting across from her, his biggest enemy, Chief Desmond Cole, a ruthless billionaire and Leo's father's worst rival. Zara turned to Leo with a smirk. You are late. Leo's blood ran cold. What was she doing with Desmond Cole? Leo took a seat. His jaw clenched. Zara, what's going on? Desmond Cole chuckled, sipping his wine. Your ex-fiancé and I have come to an interesting agreement. Zara leaned forward, her eyes gleaming with power. I'm marrying Desmond Cole, Leo. Leo's word chattered. Your what? Zara smiled, tilting her head. I found out the truth about my past, Leo. Your father stole my family's empire, and Desmond is willing to help me get it back as his wife. Leo's chest tightened. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. Zara was willing to marry his father's greatest enemy just to destroy the Adewale's family. You can't be serious. Zara took Desmond's hands. Oh, I'm very serious. Leo slammed the table. You don't love him, Zara. Zara smiled. Love doesn't matter in business, does it? Desmond chuckled. She's smart, Leo. Smarter than you ever gave her credit for. Leo's fist clenched. She was playing a dangerous game, and he wasn't going to let her go without a fight. As Leo left the hotel fuming, a familiar voice called out, Leo, we need to talk. He turned and saw Sophia. She looked desperate, her eyes wild. Sophia, we're done, he snapped. You ruined my life. She grabbed his arm. Leo, please, I can help you win Zara back. Leo froze. Why would you help me? Sophia's hands trembled. Because if she marries Desmond Cole, you will never get her back. Leo's heart pounded. Sophia was the last person he wanted to trust, but something in her eyes told him she knew something he didn't. Later that night, Zara stood on the rooftop of Desmond's penthouse, staring at the city lights. She had come so far from the hungry girl who stole Leo's food. Now she was stronger, smarter, untouchable, but deep inside, her heart ached, because the truth was, she still loved Leo. Desmond stepped behind her, his voice smooth. "Are you ready to destroy the Adewale family?" Zara turned to him, her expression unreadable, more than ever. But what Desmond didn't know was, Zara had her own secret plan, and no one was safe. Not Leo, not Desmond, not even herself. Leo stared at Sophia, his heart pounding. "Why would you help me win Zara back?" Sophia took a deep breath, lowering her voice. "Because I know something that will ruin Desmond Cole and stop Zara from marrying him." Leo narrowed his eyes. "I don't trust you, Sophia." Sophia smirked. "You don't have to trust me, but if you want Zara back, you need to listen." Leo hesitated. He hated Sophia, but something about the way she spoke sent chills down his spine. "Fine, talk." Sophia leaned in. "Desmond Cole killed Zara's parents." Leo's words stopped. "What did you just say?" Sophia's eyes were cold. Desmond Cole had them murdered. They were once wealthy business owners, but when they refused to sell their company to him, he had them eliminated. Leo's stomach twisted. "Zara doesn't know, does she?" Sophia shook her head. "Not yet." Leo exhaled sharply. If Zara knew the truth, she would never marry Desmond Cole. Zara sat across from Desmond in his luxurious study. He poured himself a drink, watching her with amusement. "Are you ready for a wedding, my dear?" Zara forced a smile. "Of course." Desmond chuckled. "You know, marrying me means you become the most powerful woman in this city." Zara leaned forward, her voice smooth. "I'm looking forward to it." But deep inside, she felt sick. She wasn't marrying Desmond for power. She was marrying him to destroy him. She had spent months investigating him, and now she had enough proof to bring him down forever. But before she could execute her plan, Leo burst into the room. Desmond signed, swilling his drink. "Leo, how rude of you to interrupt." Leo ignored him. His eyes locked on Zara. "Zara, listen to me. You can't marry him." Zara's expression hardened. "You don't get to tell me what to do." Leo clenched his face. "I know what happened to your parents." Zara froze. "What?" Leo swallowed hard. "Desmond killed them." Zara's heart stopped. She turned to Desmond, shaking. "Tell me he's lying." Desmond chuckled. "What does it matter, darling? They were weak. You are not." Zara's chest tightened. All this time, she had been planning to destroy Desmond, but he was the very monster who ruined her life. Something inside her snapped. She grabbed a wine glass and smashed it against his face. Desmond screamed, blood dripping from his cheek. "You monster!" Zara shrieked. Leo grabbed her wrist. "We need to go now." Zara gasped for air, staring at Desmond one last time before running out with Leo. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was war. Later that night, Zara sat in Leo's penthouse, her hands trembling. "Everything I've done, all the deals, all the lies, it was all for nothing." Leo knelt in front of her, taking her hands. "No, it brought us here, and we are going to take him down together." Zara met his eyes. "Do you still love me, Leo?" Leo cupped her face. "I never stopped." They leaned in, their lips inches apart, until the door slammed open, and there stood Sophia, holding a gun. Zara gasped. "Sophia, what are you doing?" Sophia smirked. "Did you really think I would help you for free?" Leo stepped in front of Zara. "Sophia, put the gun down." Sophia cocked her head. "No, because if Zara dies, I get everything." Zara's breath hitched. "What are you talking about?" Sophia grinned. "Desmond made me his heir. If you die, all his money and power becomes mine." Leo's blood boiled. Sophia had played all of them. and now she was ready to kill. But before she could pull the trigger, a gunshot rang out and Sophia collapsed. Zara turned in shock. Standing in the doorway was Desmond, holding the smoking gun. He smirked. "You really thought I'll let her take what's mine?" Leo and Zara stared in horror. Sophia was dead, and Desmond Cole wasn't finished yet. Desmond stood over Sophia's lifeless body, his gun still smoking. A slow, wicked smile spread across his face. "You didn't think I'll let some lowlife like Sophia steal my empire, did you?" Zara's body trembled with rage. "You are a monster." Desmond chuckled, wiping the blood splatter off his sleeve. "And yet, you almost married me." Leo stepped in front of Zara, shielding her. "If you think you'll walk it out of here alive, you are insane." Desmond raised an eyebrow. "Is that a threat, boy?" Before Leo could respond, sirens blared in the distance. "Please." Zara's breath hitched. Leo smirked. "Oh, did I forget to mention? I called the cops before I came here." Desmond's expression darkened. The man who had controlled everything was finally trapped. He turned to Zara, eyes filled with something she had never seen before: fear. For the first time in his life, Desmond Cole had lost. The doors burst open. Armed officers flooded the room. "Drop your weapon," an officer shouted. Desmond exhaled, dropping the gun. He raised his hands. "I'm a businessman, gentlemen. I'm sure we can talk." The officer grabbed him roughly. "You can talk in prison." As they dragged him away, Desmond turned to Zara one last time. "You think you've won, don't you?" Zara clenched her jaw. "You destroyed my family. You don't get to walk free." Desmond smirked. "We'll see about that." Then he was gone. Zara collapsed into Leo's arms, shaking. It was finally over. Or so they thought. Days later, the entire city was talking. Billionaire Desmond Cole arrested for murder. Ex-heiress Zara James exposes the truth. Zara had taken back her family's company and donated millions to help the homeless. But while the world celebrated, Zara felt empty. She stood by the balcony of Leo's penthouse, staring at the city lights. Leo walked up behind her, wrapping her arms around her waist. "You did it, Zara. You won." She sighed. "Then why don't I feel happy?" Leo turned her around. "Because revenge doesn't heal a broken heart." Zara looked into his eyes. The man who had once insulted her, who had paid her to be his fake fiancé. And yet, he was the only one who ever truly saw her. "I don't want to be alone anymore, Leo." Leo smiled softly. "Then don't be." He leaned in, kissing her deeply. And for the first time in years, Zara felt safe. 1 month later, Zara was walking out of a business meeting when her phone rang. An unknown number. She hesitated before answering. "Hello?" A deep, chilling voice came through. "Did you really think I'll stay locked up forever?" Zara's blood ran cold. "Desmond." Before she could respond, he chuckled darkly. "See you soon, sweetheart." The line went dead. Zara staggered backward, her heart racing. He was out, and this time, he wouldn't stop until he got his revenge. Zara froze. Her phone nearly slipped from her fingers. Desmond's voice still echoed in her ears. "See you soon, sweetheart." She turned in every direction, her breath quickening. Was he watching her? Had he escaped? She rushed to her car and locked the doors. Her hands trembled as she dialed Leo. Pick up, pick up." "Hey baby, what's wrong?" Leo's voice was calm on the other end. Zara swallowed hard. "Desmond, he called me." Silence. Then Leo's voice hardened. "Where are you?" "Leaving the office. I'm coming home now." "No, stay where you are. I'm on my way." Zara nodded, gripping the steering wheel as fear coiled around her chest. She had destroyed Desmond once, but he wasn't finished with her yet. Leo arrived in less than 10 minutes. His jaw was clenched, his eyes filled with fury. He opened the car door and took her hand. "Let's go." Zara hesitated. "Where?" Leo's voice was low. "We are leaving Abuja." Her eyes widened. "What?" "Leo, I have my business, Leo cut her off. "Desmond is dangerous, Zara. He won't stop until he has you." Zara shivered. She knew Leo was right, so for the first time in weeks, she ran. Leo took Zara to a private villa in Lagos. No one knew they were there, or so they thought. One night, Zara stood by the window staring at the ocean. She sighed, "Do you think we'll ever be free of him?" Leo wrapped his arms around her. "I promise, he will never touch you again." But at that exact moment, a bullet shattered the glass. Zara screamed. Leo grabbed her, shielding her body. "Get down." The room exploded with gunfire. They had been found. Leo grabbed his gun and fired back, dragging Zara through the hallway. "Go to the car," she shouted. Zara ran, her heart pounding. But as she reached the front door, she came face to face with Desmond, dressed in black, a gun pointed at her chest. "Hello again, my love." Zara's breath hitched. "Desmond." Leo burst through the door, but before he could shoot, a man knocked him out from behind. Zara screamed. Desmond grabbed her by the waist and whispered in her ear, "Did you really think I'll let you go?" Then everything went black. Zara's eyes fluttered open. Her heart pounded. The room was dark, cold, unfamiliar. She was lying on a metal chair, her hands tied behind her back. Fear gripped her chest. Where was she? Then she heard it. Footsteps. A door creaked open. A figure stepped inside. Desmond, dressed in black, a cruel smile on his lips. "Did you sleep well, sweetheart?" Zara's heart raced. "Where am I?" Desmond leaned down, brushing a finger against her cheek. "Somewhere only I can find you." She shuddered, jerking away. "You are sick." He chuckled. "And you're mine." Meanwhile, Leo groaned as he woke up, his head pounding. Zara. He sat up with a start. She was gone. Desmond had her. Leo's eyes darkened with rage. He pulled out his phone and called someone he never thought he would. His father. The old man answered in seconds. "What is it, Leo?" Leo's voice was sharp. "I need your connections. Desmond kidnapped Zara." A long silence. Then his father's voice dropped. "Meet me in 1 hour." Leo clenched his face. He was getting Zara back, even if he had to kill Desmond to do it. Back in the dark room, Desmond paced in front of Zara. "You and I could have been great together, Zara." She glared at him. "I would rather die." Desmond smirked. "Oh, I know. That's why I have a proposition." Zara narrowed her eyes. "What?" Desmond leaned in, his breath hot against her ear. "Marry me, and Leo leaves." Her blood turned cold. "What?" Desmond grinned. "Or I can put a bullet in his skull. Your choice." Zara's body trembled. This monster wanted to make her his wife. She shook her head. "Leo will come for me." Desmond chuckled. "That's the plan." Then he pulled out his phone and made a call. "Leo, my old friend, I have something of yours." Zara's eyes widened. "No!" Leo's voice was sharp. "Where is she?" Desmond smirked. "Come get her, alone." Then he hung up and turned to Zara. "Let's see how much your precious Leo loves you." Zara's heart pounded. Leo was walking into a trap, and there was nothing she could do. To be continued. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please like the video, comment what you have learned from the tale, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more enchanting tales just like this one. See you on the next one. Thank you and God bless. Bye.